Oh, it's okay. Just zooming in.
Hey everyone, um, you're watching Ampergy Advocacy Media. This is our Under the Surface live broadcast, a disability roundtable discussion. My name is Mark. I'm a brown man with black glasses, black and white beard, and I've got a red shirt on today.
And I'm Crystal. I have brown hair, brown eyes, and today I'm wearing a pink sweater. And we're in our home office.
And today our plan is to talk about adapting to circumstances and everything that's involved with that. So let's go ahead and get started.
We don't have the right
Just a minute.
stuff that's not there.
Sorry, technical difficulties here. What's here?
I thought you were already
It's in the wrong folder.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought it was already in that folder.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is adapting to circumstances and how they can pose a challenge, how you can be presented with a challenging situation if we're not given the proper tools to achieve what needs to be done or what we can do.
And you obviously noticed that we're not doing our normal roundtable. We've had to do our own adapting. Some situations happened over the holidays, but we're doing what we can to make that work. But there's definitely some other things that adapting, that we want to talk about first. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead. So, what we've got here is adapting to the discrimination that we face from people around us that then leads to secondary adaptations leading to unnecessary pain, traumatic experiences, or both. When I read this, we were talking about this earlier. When I read this, what springs to mind for me is a term you may have heard of called cognitive dissonance, which is essentially what people around you may be telling you is going on or what is the situation that you're experiencing, but your experience or your internal compass is telling you something different, and it's that difference between the two narratives that causes maybe some added anxiety, pain, stress.
Right. I when I read it, I think about in the disability community, we know all too well that things were being told to everybody, um, that things were in place. And we kind of had to make our own adoptions, because those things weren't in place. And I know it's a very big issue right now with people that don't have experience in the disability community, being mad at people for masking or doing what they needed to do to adapt to things that were not in place. So it can be like, like this says, that can lead to people gaslighting you, manipulating you, making you feel bad like you've done something wrong because you're trying to adapt, right? So that can be unnecessary pain that others cause you, or you have to do your own, it comes from internalized ableism, that you're telling yourself you did something wrong, and maybe you have to, you know, go by what they were really wanting, and it's hard to do, and that can lead to a lot of problems.
And what that may look like sometimes is, people knowing that certain benefits are available to you as a person with a disability and encouraging you, or asking, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, and not understanding or empathizing with what actually is involved for you, or what are the implications for you to go ahead and get those benefits, or and what you have to go through, and then sort of um, blaming you or shaming you for not going ahead and getting those things.
And right there, what he's talking about, that is called blame shifting. When people that are trying to manipulate you and gaslight you for that masking, that is trying to justify what they were doing by blaming you for it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot there's a lot to figure out, and it's not always easy. Um, I'm going to speak for myself. It's not always. I have issues with processing things, processing speed. So that means that I'm a little bit slow to get things. Um, so I don't always know the right things to say or the right way to respond at the moment, because it takes that, I need that extra time. So in it can be confusing sometimes, because you don't actually know what's going on and when it's going on, and it then later on, looking back, it's harder to figure out what happened, because then, after time, you start to lose track of what actually went on, and it's a real work that you have to do to stay focused, and a lot of quiet time and isolation maybe is needed to in order to do that.
Yeah, but everybody's different, and
Right.
everybody's disability is different, and unfortunately, that kind of leads to why we're having to shift and adapt what we're doing with another service, because unfortunately, we've never said that we're experts at anything, right? But in the early December, I believe, I put out graphics explaining what we're going to be doing and the topics we wanted experts to help us discuss, right? To help you guys really understand, because we don't, especially me, I don't always have the words. And even though I knew exactly what blame shifting was, and I have a whole, arsenal of words, but I can't always use them in the right way at the right time. And that's to do with my aphasia. But anyway, going back to the issue of that post of, things we wanted to accomplish and do for you guys, was also a lot of very mean comments and is there,
I think what Crystal is trying to communicate is that sometimes we post these things with high hopes and expectations about collaborations and things we can build within the disability community. And the tough thing about this whole social media thing we've got is a lot of people, there because there's so much physical distance between us. They can say these things, and they can it's coming from a place of maybe they're trying to knock other people down and trying to um, basically trying to knock what they what what other people are doing, and it's hard to maintain hope and faith in that space if we see those things and spend too much time and energy looking at those things. Is that about right?
yeah. Um, I think it gives people the um, indication, maybe, that because we have our own disabilities, that they have a right to um, say mean things or um, um, chastise us for not doing it the way that they think we should be doing it or whatever. And that's not okay at all. um, I'm sorry, guys. And this is very strange because, you know, we had very high hopes for being able to, help the disability community understand and talk with other people and openly discuss things authentically without, without a lot of, people getting in the middle of it. But that's exactly not what happened. And so, again, we're just going to have to figure out a different route to go.
Yeah.
And, and I know that'll come easy, because we have so many different paths that we want to go for M4G. From the beginning, we just were very much convicted last year, especially, to understand that the world is going in so many different directions and so many people are having to adapt to so many situations, not just with disability. and um, and like I was talking about earlier, the things that are not in place and stuff like that, and the things that people have experienced in the disability community. And further, we wanted to be able to explain ableism in a way that was not pointing fingers, in a way that was, help people understand and appreciate and respect the disability community. But it backfired on us. Like we were trying to help people understand it, and then it was done right back to us. So can't go in that direction anymore. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Having said all that, we're we're not like M4G isn't going anywhere. I don't know uh, what you've taken away from this so far, but we're not going anywhere.
Uh-uh.
We're strong. We're strong and adaptable. We're you may have seen one of our posts previously about us changing the schedule for journeys. What that'll do is it'll, without getting into specifics, it'll open us up, open up our schedule and allow us to explore some other ways that we can get our message out there.
And we
And
do a lot of other
right.
advocacy stuff too. And, and then we have our own thing, lives too. So, um, well,
Yeah.
yeah, there's lots of things, lots of directions that could go. We'll see.
Definitely.
And
And
we'll let you guys know when we know.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. And it managing disability, as you all know, is kind of a full-time job, and we've got to do this schedule that works best for us. And you know, it's it's all about learning, and we're just doing the best we can, and we adjust as we learn more, and that's all we can do.
Yep.
Um, I think there was. Let me
Yeah,
see.
you'll have to
Yeah,
do that. I
no
can't
problem.
see anything right now.
Um,
Sorry.
it's okay. Um, so, what we're um, this last point we're kind of touched on here was about another type of adapting that we're all familiar with, which is the change of plans kind, which is kind of how we what we just talked about, that everyone's familiar with. And I guess what we'd like to know in the comments, if you happen to catch this on Facebook or YouTube, is um, sometimes adapting yourself, or adapting something outside of you, like someone else or some other situation or something in your life, is simple, but our circumstances around it, or around you, making it difficult. Let us know what your thoughts on that. One more thought that I had about this earlier is that um, adapt adapting and masking can seem like a similar sort of thing, and can be very confusing, at least for me. And I have some sense that like it may be that way for some other people. Um, like what is adapting and what is okay to adapt, and when does that bleed over into masking? Like sometimes with anything you can go overboard, and certainly you can go overboard with adapting and masking, and that may look like people pleasing is a common term. Um, sort of doing what you need to do to make other people happy. What do you have to say
Well, um, I'm not sure I'm the best person to be asked
about
that
it?
question right now.
Yeah,
Um, I would definitely say that adapting to things can be very challenging, but when you have the need to adapt to something, if you've had a challenge or a change in your life or a progressive disability or whatever is going on, temporary disability, um, people should not make you feel bad about it. And it should be just innately um, a human thing for people to want to help people. But we've come to a place where people want to tear each other down, even when they're trying to do something good.
yeah,
And so nobody can adapt in that scenario.
right.
You know,
The best thing to do in that scenario, well, I, I don't always like to use the word best, but a response that I would advocate for is just getting out of that situation in any way possible. That's probably
yeah,
uh, the best thing to do is just not be in that area where you're experiencing that discomfort. It's very, some people unfortunately are still stuck at the high school level.
yeah,
And it's hard to it's hard for some people to progress past that, but that's none of our business really.
yeah,
We just have to shift focus to some place where we can thrive and do the best work
yeah.
that we need to do.
Right. And going back some, we totally missed the part of. So before we planned out what we were gonna do, um, we had another opportunity, right, to collaborate with another company, and we were gonna do 3 different jobs with them and 3 different podcasts with them separately from what we do now. But that was gonna be an income job. This is not. So anyway, but that all fell through because they lost all of their funding and they had to shut down. So within that situation, we had to come up with a new, and we did. We came up with a whole, you saw the graphics and the info stuff, and then this all happened. So we're we don't we don't we're sorry. We wanted to have things together, to be able to do for you guys, but it's just it seems like one thing after the other is like, oh no, we don't know where it's going right now. But again, we'll keep you updated.
And continue to check out our website and our Facebook page and LinkedIn for any updates, and we'll keep you posted.
Yes,
Then,
that's it. You
Okay.
have to do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was a short little discussion. Hopefully, thank you for those that joined us, and if you want to continue this discussion, we'll be on Facebook,
Can I
LinkedIn.
add to that? We really appreciate those that have actually been supportive and been here with us through all of this. It's unfortunate that that happened, but that's how the state of the world today. You know, unfortunately, and we just have to go with the flow, and we'll get right back up and start something new, and can't be stopped at that point. So, it's okay to be upset and get, but don't do it for long, and we'll move on to something else that has a new purpose.
Okay. Well, thanks again for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you on the next Under the Surface.
Thanks.
Bye. Dang it.